Hey, what's good guys? This is Nightwing2303 from WearTesters.com, and today we got the performance review of these guys right here. This is the Jordan Ultra.Fly 2. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. So the traction on these guys I had kind of a love-hate relationship with. The black sections are the parts that I didn't feel too greatly about. When they worked really well. However, they were greatly affected by dust in a negative way. Even the slightest amount would get sucked up in these little grooves right here, and they would just kind of cake up right there, constantly needing to wipe this area just to keep it clean. However, the exterior portions that are all white, those were fantastic. I mean, we're talking like near the Air Jordan 28 level type of traction, which I think is phenomenal. So when these black portions right here would fail, at least the white portion around it would catch it. So if you'd start to kind of like slip or lose a little bit of grip, you would get some hold right afterwards. But it was one of those things where when you did slip, it would jerk you in a way that would kind of make you hesitate on a move. Something that, again, is just kind of like something where I'm like love-hate with, because like some courts, these guys were just phenomenal traction-wise. Other courts, they needed a little bit of work. It would have been really interesting to see what the traction would have felt like had it been all like one pattern, one or the other. I think it would have been great to have seen this little like spiral area that's right here at the base just kind of curl all the way up here. Again, it was very similar to the Air Jordan 28, which I basically hold as the top tier traction of all time. And those sections of this shoe were so close to that, it was unbelievable. So if we would have had that consistency throughout, I think it would have been fantastic. Now, something to consider though is that these guys performed exceptionally well outdoors. Even though outdoors has a dirtier surface just naturally, there's just natural debris all over the floor. These guys had no issue gripping the court. So I don't know why there was such a drastic difference between indoor and outdoor with debris present. But whatever the reason is, you know, these guys performed really well outdoors. So for those of you that are interested in outdoor hooping, these guys are going to have you covered. And those of you that are interested in indoor hooping, make sure that you are aware what your court condition is like. If it's clean, you're going to be fine. If there's a little bit of dust or a lot of dust, 24, I'm looking at you, or it just needs to be refinished, this guy might have like half and half type of traction. Now, as far as cushion is concerned, the original Ultra.Fly featured 4-foot isolated cushion. It was bottom loaded, it was articulated, the midsole was awful, and I just really didn't like that setup. I thought that the upper of that shoe was fantastic, and the tooling with both the midsole and the outsole were horrible. These guys here, they changed all of that. There's really no comparison or correlation between the original Ultra.Fly and this Ultra.Fly, which I think is a good thing, because these guys here kind of bring things back to where Jordan Brand used to be, where you'd feel that you were getting your money's worth every time you made a purchase. So these guys have 4-foot zoom air, and then there also is heel zoom air. The heel zoom air is not substantial. It's a little hex unit. It is large volume. It's about 10 millimeters, 8 to 10 millimeters thick. So you do get moderate impact protection in the heel when you need it. And then the 4-foot is just a standard shape. It literally looks just like this black pod section right here. Can you feel the zoom? Yes, you can. Two reasons. One is that the outsole itself for the tooling right here is a little bit rounded. So when you're putting your pressure on there, it's kind of flexing that area inward and pushing the area up. So it's really forcing the zoom to be activated. It's almost like it's not going to allow the zoom to fail in this shoe, which I think is fantastic. Something that I wish that they would have done with the Kyrie shoe. They kind of gave that rounded outsole the reason why they didn't put cushion in there. But this is proof that you can have that rounded outsole and have cushion in there and it still be perfectly fine. Now, the second thing is that the midsole here is just really nice. It feels a little dense. It's a little heavy underfoot to start. However, if you just stick with them, you let them break in naturally like a basketball shoe should. I know we're kind of like stuck in a weird era right now where people do not want to break shoes in, but trust me, the more that you wear a shoe, the better it usually gets. Not always, but usually. This midsole is like that. This midsole is kind of dense, but it has a little bit of rebound. It feels almost rubbery. So once you do break these guys in, you're getting a really nice zoom air experience. Not quite on the level of like an Air Jordan 13, but it's close enough to where these guys feel better than most of the other Air Jordan products that we've gotten in the past 3 or 4 years. Now, the materials I think are interesting. You have a one-piece upper. It's just a knitted sock, and it's an engineered knit. It's almost stretchy. And so when you put it in that way, like especially being a one-piece, you're kind of like, I don't know about that. What if it stretches too much in one area or the other? They've kind of like done away with all of that with this synthetic skin or fuse overlay on top of it. So basically you have everything that fits and feels like a sock, but it doesn't perform like a sock. It's got a little bit more structure, a little bit more rigidity, a lot more durability, making these again a shoe from Jordan Brand where I'm like, yo, I don't feel like I just wasted my money. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the older Jordan Brand purchases over the past few years, I've kind of been like, yo, like, you know, like I could get more for less somewhere else. And this is the first shoe in a long while besides the Air Jordan 31 Low where I feel like, man, my $125 was well spent with these guys. In terms of fit, they do fit true to size. Wide footers, definitely try them on. These are a little bit hard to get into into initially. They do break in and everything, so I'm able to slide right in now. But at first they were a little bit difficult, and this area right here took a little while to stretch out and stuff. So again, if you're a wide footer, just go try them on. You'll know once your foot is in there if this has enough room for you. A normal or narrow footer, again, true to size, and you should be good to go. Lockdown is very solid on these guys. The lacing system here looks just like a standard web loop lacing system, but what they actually are strands that go all the way down to the footbed. So you got lockdown coverage in all of these areas. Basically, you just follow the line, and there's two threads or strands, so it's double coverage in there. And then when you get all the way up to the collar area, it goes all the way to the back here, making sure that you're locked in this section, which is very important for support. On top of that, there's a ton of padding in this shoe. Like, this shoe feels like a fucking 90s beast. Like, it just, to me, this is a shoe that like I would have bought in high school and been like, yo, these are awesome. And buying these now, I'm like, yo, these are awesome. So the support in the shoe kind of takes everything that we just talked about and throws it all together. If it doesn't work in tandem with one another, it's not going to support your foot properly. There are a few standard support features. There's an internal heel counter right here. There's a torsional shank at the base. There's a nice hefty outrigger right here on the lateral end. The overall fit and containment, like I said, that one-piece booty, really kind of like sock-like fit. Very, very solid, especially with this extra rand on top. It gives you a lot of containment. And then the midsole itself does a ton of supporting as well. The way that it's sculpted, it's not just for looks. It's not a design in a way to where you're like, oh, okay, that's cool looking. It actually is functional. This stuff cups your foot both in the heel as well as the medial and lateral side. I think it's fantastic. So overall, the Ultra.Fly 2 is a fantastic shoe. I feel like I got the most bang for my buck in a long time from Jordan brand. Heel and forefoot zoom air. The traction is the only thing where I can be like, yo, that's kind of iffy at times, but not enough to where I would never want to wear them again. The fit's fantastic. They start off a bit suffocating, but they break in really, really nicely. And the overall support is great as well. The shoe is a little bit on the heavy side. Again, it reminds me of a 90s shoe, but that's not a bad thing in my opinion. Break them in, love the shoe properly on court like you're supposed to, and you're going to enjoy the hell out of these. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope that this helps you out a little bit. If you're interested in any more information, all you got to do is head over to WearTesters.com. The link is going to be in the description box below. Let me know what you guys think about the Ultra.Fly 2. Have you played in them? Have you not? Are you interested in them? I'd love to hear from you. So thank you guys again, and until next time guys, have a good one.